welcome to another edition of the Lab 207 webcast. My name is Mr. Kite, and I'll be hanging out with you today as we talk about consequential corridors or eating the invaders. The invader we care about today is the red invasive fire ant. We're going to talk a little bit about this guy today. Now, if you're camping in the American South, you are likely to run into two different types of fire ants. On the right there is the tropical fire ant. It is native to the American South. On the left is the red invasive fire ant. As the name implies, it is invasive. Now, the reason we care about the red invasives are that they are colonization machines. For a couple reasons, they are very good at taking over an area. First, they can live in very high population densities. Second, they are omnivorous, which means they can eat anything. Third, they are highly aggressive with an incredibly painful sting. And fourth, they do very well in disturbed habitats. So they have done a very good job of taking over the American South. Now, our red invasives actually have got two very interesting social structures. One type is the monogeny social structure, whereby there is just one queen per colony. The polygeny structure has got multiple queens per colony. Now, there are a couple of distinct differences that make these ecologically distinct from each other. Your monogenies don't do as much environmental damage because the queens, when they mate, fly about 1,000 feet in the air, travel somewhere else, land, start a new colony, and they don't live in very high population densities. Your polygeny social structures, the queens just crawl a couple yards away and start a new colony, and they can live in very high population density, which means that they can take over an area very quickly. Now, the conservation community sometimes talks about conservation corridors. Here's an example of a conservation corridor. You have a once pristine mountain habitat that has had a road built through it, dividing that habitat in half. Where animals would have been able to travel that whole area, they got stuck on one side of the road or the other. So the solution to this is to build a safe passage or a corridor that connects one side of the road to the other. You see that corridor right there in the middle. Awesome for native animals because it gives them their area back. However, for your polygene ants that would have been stuck on one side of the road because their queens don't fly, that corridor allows them to now cross from one side to the other, widening their spread and widening their destruction. So as conservation groups think about putting in conservation corridors, they have to weigh the potential benefit to native species against the impact of allowing invasives to spread further. Hope you found this informative. Thanks for joining us on the Lab 207 webcast. Hopefully we'll see you again.